Every time you turn your key, a microscopic war breaks out between metal surfaces inside your engine. The only thing standing between you and a $10,000 engine replacement is a thin film of oil. But here is the question nobody at the parts store will answer honestly. Is the premium synthetic you are paying $80 for actually protecting your engine, or are you just paying for a marketing slogan? Today we are stripping away the labels and looking at raw numbers. 5 of the biggest names in the industry: Amsoil Signature Series, Mobil 1 Extended Performance, Pennzoil Ultra Platinum, Valvoline Advanced Full Synthetic, and Castrol Edge. All tested in the same 5W30 viscosity grade. We are digging into the lab results manufacturers do not print on the bottle, to find out which oil truly defends your engine, and which one might be quietly failing you when you need it most. Before we get into the data, one thing needs to be said clearly. Fully independent oil studies are exceptionally rare. Most comparison tests follow strict ASTM procedures performed by legitimate third-party laboratories, but they are almost always funded by the oil companies themselves. The results are scientifically accurate, but the test designs often favor the sponsor's specific chemical strengths. For unbiased real-world data, we turn to thousands of consumer-submitted used oil analysis reports sent to independent laboratories like Blackstone Laboratories. Real drivers, real engines, real miles. That is where the truth lives. Section 1. Wear protection. Where the first winner emerges. The story of engine longevity begins where metal meets metal. The ASTM D4172 4-ball wear test measures the wear scar left on steel balls after 1 hour of friction under load. Smaller scar means better protection. This is the most direct measurement of how well an oil prevents metal-to-metal contact. Here is where the first clear winner appears. Amsoil Signature Series records a wear scar as low as 0.35 mm in independent third-party testing. That is the number behind their claim of 75% more engine protection than required by leading industry standards. It is not a marketing invention. It is a verified lab result. The other 4 oils cluster between 0.40 and 0.45 mm. Mobil 1 Extended Performance typically comes in around 0.44. Pennzoil, Valvoline, and Castrol sit in the same range. Here is what that means in plain language. None of these oils are failing your engine at that range. But Amsoil's margin of safety is measurably larger. And that margin is exactly what matters when your engine is being pushed hardest. Section 2. High temperature film strength. The number that protects your bearings. The 4-ball test tells you what happens under load at moderate temperatures. High temperature high shear viscosity, HTHS, tells you what happens inside the narrowest hottest gaps of a running engine. Journal bearings. Cam lobes. The places where oil film is thinnest and failure is most catastrophic. A higher HTHS number means a thicker protective film at 150 degrees Celsius, the temperature your engine regularly reaches under sustained load. And here is where a different winner emerges. Pennzoil Ultra Platinum consistently records the highest HTHS stability of any oil in this comparison. Its natural gas-to-liquid base stock produces molecules of inherently uniform structure. That uniformity means the oil resists thermal thinning more effectively than crude-derived synthetics. Mobil 1 follows closely. Valvoline and Castrol sit in the middle at 3.0 to 3.1 mPa. 4 turbocharged engines, direct injection engines, and anyone who tows regularly. This is the number that directly determines whether your engine survives sustained high-load operation. Pennzoil wins this section clearly. Section 3. Cold start protection. The moment most engine damage actually happens. Here is something most drivers never consider. The majority of engine wear happens in the first few seconds after a cold start, before oil pressure builds and the film reaches every surface that needs protection. This is not a minor detail. This is where most of the lifetime damage to your engine is done. The ASTM D5293 cold cranking simulator test measures oil viscosity at -30 degrees Celsius. Lower numbers mean the oil flows more freely at cold start, reaching critical surfaces faster and closing that dangerous window of metal-to-metal contact before pressure builds. Amsoil Signature Series records cold cranking viscosity around 3,727 centipoise. That is nearly 40% lower than the SAE maximum of 6,600 centipoise for a 5W rated oil. Here is the part that should concern Castrol Edge owners. Despite its premium positioning and fluid titanium marketing, Castrol sits near the top of the range, around 6,600 centipoise in some 5W30 batches. Technically within the legal limit. But the resistance your starter motor must overcome is nearly double that of Amsoil. Over hundreds of cold starts across several winters, that difference accumulates into real wear. Pennzoil Ultra Platinum's GTL base stock gives it a pour point of -48 degrees Celsius, the lowest in this comparison. Molecules synthesized from natural gas lack the wax impurities in crude-derived oils. The result is an oil that flows faster at extreme cold than anything on this list made from conventional crude. If this investigation is changing how you look at the bottle you bought last weekend, hit subscribe right now. Because the next video reveals which of these oils holds its protection longest between changes. And the answer is not the one with the highest price tag. Section 4. Heat resistance and deposit control. When an engine operates under sustained stress, the chemical stability of its oil is the only barrier against thickening sludge and baked-on deposits inside your engine. NOAC volatility measures the percentage of oil that evaporates at 250 degrees Celsius. High evaporation means oil consumption, a thicker unbalanced fluid, and deposits forming in places the oil can no longer reach. Amsoil Signature Series benchmarks at 6.7% evaporation, an industry-leading result corroborated by independent laboratory audits. Pennzoil Ultra Platinum sits between 7 and 8%. Both are exceptional. Mobil won extended performance records around 8.8%. Solidly within the 15% API-SP limit, but a formulation that prioritizes broad accessibility over specialized evaporation control. Now here is where Valvoline surprises everyone. In the TIOS 33C turbocharger deposit test, which simulates a turbocharger shaft being cycled up to 480 degrees Celsius, Valvoline Advanced Full Synthetic delivers a deposit score near 7 to 8 milligrams. That is one of its strongest results in this entire comparison, and it directly protects against turbo-coking, the deposit buildup that leads to catastrophic turbocharger bearing failure. Castrol Edge keeps deposits below 10 milligrams using its fluid titanium additives. Both Valvoline and Castrol are legitimate choices for turbocharged engines at standard drain intervals. Section 5. Long drain capability. The chemical reserve that keeps protecting. When oil is expected to protect past 10,000 miles, the chemical reserve becomes the defining metric of durability. Total base number, TBN, is the chemical armor that neutralizes combustion acids that would otherwise cause corrosion and sludge inside your engine. Amsoil Signature Series arrives with a TBN of 12.5, roughly 28% higher than its primary rivals. This backs its marketed 25,000-mile drain interval, a massive buffer against acid accumulation even in the most severe conditions. Mobil 1 Extended Performance follows at 10.1. Pennzoil Ultra Platinum at 11.2. Valvoline and Castrol range between 8.8 and 9.0. But here is the result from Blackstone Laboratories that surprises most people. While Amsoil begins with the highest TBN, Mobil 1 Extended Performance depletes its chemical reserve more slowly per 1,000 miles than competitors starting at higher levels. In practical terms, Mobil 1 delivers consistent, predictable protection deep into the drain interval even without the massive starting TBN advantage. Valvoline and Castrol used oil analysis consistently shows TBN remaining well above 2.5 at standard 7,500-mile intervals, the threshold most labs consider the minimum safe level. A higher starting TBN only becomes critical if you are pushing significantly past the manufacturer's recommended service interval. Section 6. Real-world wear data. What Blackstone Labs actually shows. Laboratory tests tell you what an oil can do under controlled conditions. Used oil analysis tells you what actually happens inside real engines driven by real people. And across thousands of consumer-submitted Blackstone reports, the data reveals something that challenges the premium pricing in this market. Iron, lead, and copper wear metal averages, the primary indicators of engine wear, remain remarkably similar across all 5 brands when oil is changed at standard intervals. Amsoil and Pennzoil show larger theoretical margins of safety in controlled testing. But Mobil 1 and Valvoline deliver consistent protection that proves more than sufficient for modern engines at normal service intervals. The wear metal numbers from high-mileage engines running Mobil 1 at 10,000-mile intervals look nearly identical to engines running Amsoil at the same interval. The laboratory gap does not translate into a visible real-world wear gap for most drivers under normal conditions. This is the result the premium brands do not want you to see. Section 7. The honest verdict. Which oil is actually right for your engine? Here is the straight answer based on everything in this investigation. If you run extended drain intervals past 15,000 miles, operate in genuinely severe cold climates, or push a high-output turbocharged engine at maximum load regularly, Amsoil Signature Series and Pennzoil Ultra Platinum are the technical leaders. Amsoil's 0.35mm wear scar, industry-leading cold flow data, and massive TBN reserve provide a margin of safety standard synthetics cannot match on paper. Pennzoil's GTL-based stock delivers the best high-temperature film stability and lowest evaporation rate for turbocharged applications. If you are a mainstream driver running 7,500 to 10,000-mile intervals under normal conditions, Mobil 1 Extended Performance is the strongest value proposition in this comparison. Its TBN retention curve, consistent real-world wear data, and broad OEM approval list make it the most reliable choice for the widest range of drivers. Valvoline advanced full synthetic punches above its price point in deposit control and anti-foam performance. A legitimate choice for high-mileage engines and turbocharged vehicles on tighter budgets. Castrol Edge's fluid titanium technology delivers strong high-load film strength for modern European engines with tight bearing clearances and demanding OEM specifications. Here is the final truth. Every oil on this list will protect your engine adequately at standard drain intervals. The differences only become meaningful at extended intervals, in extreme conditions, or in high-output engines where the gap between adequate and exceptional actually matters. Know your engine. Know your conditions. Buy based on the numbers, not the slogan on the front of the bottle. If this changed how you will buy your next bottle of oil, hit like and share it with one person about to do an oil change. Subscribe and turn on notifications because we publish data-driven car care content every week built for drivers who want real answers. Drop a comment below with the oil you are currently running and what engine you have. We read every single one and we will tell you if you are on the right oil for your specific situation.